It has to say that, yes. Live stream.
Pooja, ready?
Yes, we are live. We can start.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all. And thank you so much for joining us. I am Tanya Mattox, G100 USA Country Chair for Oneness and Wisdom. And I am co-host with my partner, Anu Nadimpalli, the India Country Chair. And we are here today to educate, encourage, and inform our sisters. And this is an honor and our submission to International Women's Month. We will speak with you today and have a panel of awesome women on menstrual health and management. This is a very important topic. It affects women all over the world. According to the statistics, there are 1.8 billion women who menstruate. And in any given month, 300 million lack access to supplies and facilities. Actually, 500 million don't have access out of the 300 million who have this natural process that we all experience occur for them. So today we will have our awesome expert speakers from India, the USA, speak to you from their experience and their expertise and offer solutions. And then we will have members from all over from our panel to speak 2 minutes on their particular issue, their challenge, and solutions. This day is about solutions. Please get ready to be informed, educated, and find some encouragement. I would like to welcome Swati Vedekar to the stage. Please introduce yourself and encourage us.
Hello, everyone. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me say it all, like Tanya. I'm Swati Vedekar. I come from India. And today I'm going to talk on menstrual health management from the perspective of a developing country. See, I myself am a science educator and was a keen science teacher to go into the villages and harness the girl potential out there. And to my great disappointment, girls were just not there in the school. I'm also going to show you a little presentation, and it is for the purpose that you to get an idea. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Just let me know if, yeah, the screen is, I think, visible. So yeah, so I'm going to talk from the perspective of a developing country. Whenever as I said, I went to villages with an idea. Now what happened? With an idea of, getting girls to study STEM education. You can see their situation. Most of them were out of the school, doing some household work, and had no idea of something like what is called sanitary napkin, which will help them go to school with proper safety and hygiene. And then I realized that there was a need for a local solution. This was a very local problem. Unaffordable sanitary napkin and unavailability of any kind of sanitary product. Well, that's what led to a project, Sakhi. Sakhi means a confidant or a friend to whom women could, talk their hearts out, talk about their problems. So we made small machines. As I studied what our sanitary products are made of, they were made of crores of rupees. The machinery costed crores of rupees. So we just broke it down into smaller size and created machines that any woman could handle them. Women who never got a chance to go to school also could handle these machines. We worked on raw material, indigenous raw material, because India doesn't have sufficient forest cover to get the raw material, that is wood pulp, to make these napkins. So we researched and found out indigenous plant-based fibers such as banana stem fibers or jatropha fibers to create indigenous raw material, indigenous absorbent material for our napkins. You can see these are all simple women, women from villages who were farm workers maximum or housewives are learning to use the machines and are able to handle them very nicely. You can see that transition when a woman decides to learn something, to take charge of her own life. This is what happens. These women did not know. See, in an Indian society, there was complete ignorance about menstruation among men and women both, and a typical indifference prevailed that this is a woman's problem and let them handle it. But this ignorance and indifference led to a very big injustice, and it was aimed only towards the girls because they had to leave out on their education. And if you don't have education with you, you know, you lose a right to make your own lifestyle. And well, 50% of women reside in villages. To let go of this much of potential, I wasn't ready for that. So just decided, let me do what I can. Let us talk about solutions. So that's why the search of machines, the raw material through which my girls on their own, in their own village, could create a sanitary napkin, could use it for themselves and go to school. At the same time, some more women made it into a livelihood, and this made them independent as well. We often call it, when we were working through Sakhi, inching forward. We often call it, this is not a project, this is a university where all these women who never got a chance to go to school are learning actually to handle the raw material, to create something out of it, to market their own product, to keep the inventory. Actually, they are learning business. So this is a business school, and all my girls or women are getting the degree of an MBA, that is Mahila in Business Administration. So as I said, the whole movement that we had started had taken the shape of a movement. This was not just a project being carried out in 1 or 2 or 3 villages. In few years of time, we were almost 40 villages and 40 units, so many women attached to it. So it's not about ideas, it is about making ideas happen. As all of you know, periods or menstrual hygiene is a subject of great taboo in India. And to deconstruct this taboo, this involvement of women was very much necessary. So what could be done? We never kept it as a women's project alone. We decided to engage men in it. Only then truly a society could accept this. See, at one point, we had to deconstruct the taboo. On the second point, we also had to take it forward as a business so more and more women could join in it. This could become a tool of independence for women. So, well, we didn't have the budget for distribution, for transportation. So we decided to use local transport, Indian local transport, that is a ST, State Transport Bus Service. And one of my unit leaders' husband said, I work in state transport, and this is the only vehicle which goes to each and every village. So our distribution would become so much easier. And since that day, Literally, all the Sakhi, raw material and finished goods are transported across India in a street transport bus. There was another innovation and very important one, a social innovation. Those who are from India here will understand the biggest hurdle for a woman to go out of the house and work is Sasuma, mother-in-law. And here, what we did, we made a pair of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law to come and work at the unit. This totally changed the dynamics, household dynamics. Suddenly they became partners in crime and partners and friends in real life. Now, any woman wouldn't mind her mother-in-law telling her, please work properly. People are going to buy your product. And mother-in-law was never unhappy if the daughter-in-law was going to go to the unit and work. And at the same time, another benefit, let me tell you, we found the world's best quality control department in a mother-in-law. Well, jokes apart, but another major problem. See, we were making use of sanitary pads, organic, biodegradable sanitary pads, popular in villages. It was helping many of the girls to go to school. It was helping many women get relief from the humiliation they had to suffer during the periods. But one day we saw they all stopped doing it and they said, well, the entire village hates us and we can't continue with it. And the problem was, well, in Indian villages, there was no formal garbage collection system. And that's why there was no means that a used napkin could be carried somewhere and disposed of properly. Now, this was a major problem, and no company who were selling their napkins in India had addressed it. But since we were working for our own women, we had to do this. So we stopped, looked around the village. We had to find a solution which merged with the rural landscape. It should not create more of expenditure. And suddenly we realized that what an Indian girl knows perfectly well, she knows how to light a chula. So we had to light a stove. So we had to find an equipment which was as simple as handling a chula, and this is what we made. We call it Ashuddhi Nashak, and it literally means, see the word Ashuddhi, the impurity is so closely associated with the periods that, doing away with that impurity is something caught up very well with the girls. This equipment is so simple. Just open the top lid and put in the napkin, open the down lid and insert a burning paper inside. This is low cost. This has given a livelihood to the potters. Many, we have trained at least 100 potters families in making this little equipment. And now women in villages can safely use the napkin and dispose it of responsibly in this tiny equipment. This little equipment, it has proven a game changer, particularly in rural India, because this has made way for a rural woman to use and dispose of a napkin. And this is a great service to the nation. Disposing of your napkin at source is very important because it contains human blood. You should not just, leave it, mix it with other garbage, or wait for the government to transport it to electrical incinerator and dispose it off. This saves costs to the government and this keeps your environment really happy. Well, while we were doing this, there were awareness programs which were very important in bringing this change, because on this topic, no one had ever spoken to women. Women needed to be told that you do not become impure. Rather, the purest blood in your body is gathered in your uterus to nurture the new life. And your period is your superpower, definitely not a curse on you. And this is what we tried telling little girls, their mothers. we try to address every temple, every masjid, every church, every gurudwara, trying to convince them, telling them, and through them spreading this message that menstruation has got nothing, no relevance in any religion. God doesn't disapprove of it. Rather, God also worships a woman who has the superpower of procreation. You know, arousal of the self-esteem in women was very, very necessary, and telling this fact to all the men was necessary, that what you're calling an impurity, that is the blood you are nurtured on. See, the period blood which goes out, the endometrium which goes out becomes the placenta, and that's what is the lifeline of a new life, new life that is going to be coming on this earth. So through our awareness programs, and yeah, we made our awareness programs very, very interesting. We created Nukkad Nataks, that is small plays. We created a lot of songs. We made garbas, we made bhajans to spread this message. We also started making WhatsApp memes and started sending it out to men to make them realize that if you are a boyfriend, if you are a husband, if you are a son, or if you are a father, you have equal stake in women's health. And yeah, that's how we explain the biological process and, you know, spread our message into the community. Oh, this is one of the songs. If you have a minute, you can hear.
Can you increase the volume a little bit, Swati?
तुझ साथ तू सहेली तुझ बहन पड़ी महिमा ना कर दिवस रात बहु लागे कौन करो कहाँ जाओ कशु ना गमे अंधारा खुनामा बेसी करो हो विचार चूस्ती हो छे अब.
Okay. Under that was in Hindi. I don't know how many of you understood, but this says that earlier I was a girl, I was in distress, I was wondering whether it's a curse to be a woman, but suddenly Sakhi comes and gives us those wings to fly. Now I have full right over my body, I can control it. So a song with a very positive note. These are some of the pictures of our Nukkad Nataks, and Bhava is every Indian folk form. We converted it to spread the message of menstruation. We also use men, you know, in our messages. A man telling that my house is a happy one because my wife is safe, is protected during her menstruation time, and I care for her. I buy her good menstrual products, which I think is a key to convert this into a non-problem from a problem. Acceptance in the cross section of the society. This is also one of the songs that we did. Well, we did many crazy things like this. You know, every time there would be a popular film song, we would convert it into a Sakhi song by saying, "Aaj se istemal maine Sakhi kar liya, ab mahavari ke dar se maine breakup kar liya." Then we created a crazy movement because I wanted the educated thinking class of women to be part of this project, and we started a challenge called the hygiene bucket challenge. Tanya, you might have heard of an ice bucket challenge. Well, in India, everyone would love to take the ice bucket on themselves, and well, but in India we also have a process like you should give. You know, you should not stop yourself from giving. So I started this hygiene bucket challenge. You can see in one of the photographs a bucket full of sanitary napkins. We actually made this into a gifted item, and we reached out to 5 lakh beneficiaries. 5 lakh school girls got this gift of 1 year's hygiene, and now, you know, they are going to the school. They are pursuing their education. That's the happiest thing about it. These are, you travel anywhere in an Indian village, you will find Anganwadi workers, the health workers, talking about a sanitary pad and giving away Sakhi to others. You know the impact, let me show you. When I started working, it was somewhere in 2010, all the women came to me like this, you know, in a long veil, a very typical Indian woman that would come. After all these years, well, the veil may be still there, but it is of self-confidence and self-esteem because all of them are now making sanitary pads, helping themselves and helping their counterparts in the village. And more than anything, they're making it easy for girls to go to the school. Now, keeping up with the time, we made every possible innovation to reach out. We made apps to get the Sakhi products. We made non-electrical vending machines. We placed them in all schools. We placed them in all panchayats. Now, of course, the phenomenon has come to the cities as well. But the credibility the project has earned in all these years, and which is the work of women. Like we have empowered women, we have empowered schoolgirls. Now they don't feel it difficult to go to the school. We have created facilities in schools for easy periods, such as changing room, a washroom, a vending machine to get the periods, and an incinerator to dispose of the used pad. We created a social movement and actually deconstructed the taboo. 10 years back, we couldn't speak a word about menstruation or periods in a household. And today we are having on such platforms open global discourses. Then, of course, we diversified. We are making menstrual cups, we are making tampons, and we are making smart panties so that our women can really make it into a business and make a good life for them and make a period again easy. Give an informed choice to the girls to choose their menstrual product. Well, we are also conducting studies through academic agencies, through universities, so that our work gets the required attention and academic credibility. Also, this knowledge is useful so that NITI Aayog and other policy makers can use it to create better and women-friendly policies. We also have started a certificate course with a very well laid out curriculum. And if you have this certificate, you can get a loan from government agencies to start your own project like this somewhere in some part of India. Well, there are few. If you have few minutes, I want to talk about these few Sakhi heroes. My first project, the one in green sari, she is Moody Ben. She comes from a small village called Dhanpur in the district of Dahod. And so one day she was a volunteer with me in a science program. And she said, well, in 2 months' time, I'm going to die. So give me the work right now. I do like doing this work. And I was perplexed that why she's saying I'm going to die. She says, in my village, women get some kind of a abscess in the lower part and then they die. My God, I immediately took her to the hospital, and yes, she was a potential case of cervical cancer. And when I spoke to the health officer in that village, she said, yes, this area has this, a maximum percentage of cervical cancer. And then I said, why? We can at least eradicate one reason for it. We can give them a hygiene, which costs barely 30-40 rupees. In India, Tanya, we are managing still to sell the napkins for 10 napkins for merely 30 rupees, which is 3 rupees, which is point something officially. So we are really able to make very, very affordable sanitary napkins here. And then she dared. She said, okay, if I am getting this cancer, I will not allow my other counterparts to get it. Now she's running the unit, making it possible for 25 other village girls to go to school. And yes, she's still alive. She's been treated well. Yeah. The other house which you can see, you know what, this house?
Swati, if you don't mind my interrupting, I think this is such an incredible presentation you have here. I think we can go on and on. but I'm going to say, let's give the others a chance. And, when we,
Certainly.
and in the end, we'll see if we can follow up with your Shiros. I'm seriously looking forward to hearing about the others.
Someday in one of the meetings, I'll make you meet
thank
all
you
of
so
them.
much. And please
All I
carry
have
on.
to say here is this. These women, why work on menstrual hygiene is important in all developing countries. All these women, their status would have been that of a maid in India. Now they are leaders of Made in India pads movement and making life better and a world a better place to live for themselves and their friends. Thank you very much from Sakhi.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sati. What a fantastic work. What a movement. It has been absolutely riveting watching your presentation. I really appreciate that. And as we all know, menstruation happens to all of us all over the world. We don't have the same challenges as you had there in India with access to supplies or the stigma attached. However, there are some challenges. And I would like to invite Crystal Gunn, G100 City of Detroit Chair, to enlighten us on what some of those are and the solutions that she has presented to society. Crystal, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And my God, that was a great presentation. And I am so blessed to be able to watch that. And it just, I don't know, it just moves me to want to do more. But I am, so greetings from the United States. I am Crystal L. Gunn, and I'm founder and CEO of AWN Cares, which is a nonprofit organization that strives to bring resources and programs to women and young girls to assist in advancing their collective conditions. And one of our biggest programs is what we call the Red Dot Project, which strives to eradicate period poverty. And so the project was birthed from an article I read some years ago, which stated that people don't donate supplies to shelters. We'll have homeless shelters, women's shelters, and people weren't donating supplies to those shelters because sanitary napkins in the US are expensive. And so I just started making small bags and donating them to myself. And then years after that, when I started a women's organization, we started packing our signature Red Dot bags to donate. And it has now evolved to our current mission. But back when I first started donating supplies, I had no idea of the term period poverty, which is defined as a lack of access to menstrual products, education, hygiene facilities, waste management, or a combination of these. But what does period poverty really look like? And so 16.9 million people who menstruate are living in poverty. 2/3 of the 16.9 could not afford products in the past year, with a half of that 2/3 needing to choose between menstrual products and food. And 59% of menstruating students say they rarely, if ever, find free products in the school's restrooms. 1 in 5 menstruating students miss school due to lack of products. 51% of people who menstruate have worn products longer than recommended. And 14.2% of college menstruating people experience poverty in the last year. Menstrual products are usually not covered by any form of government assistance programs. And the emotional toll of lack of access to menstrual products negatively impact mental health with anxiety, stress, and depression. So stigma associates menstruation with uncleanliness and disgust, which keeps people from talking about it, further perpetuating the crisis. And shame arises when products are free, but the menstruating person has to ask a gatekeeper or administrator for access. And so when I expanded the mission statement for the Red Dot Project, I looked at all of these statistics to determine where AWN Cares and the Red Dot Project could have the greatest impact. And where I realized there was no way we could end period poverty without addressing poverty and stigma, because having a menstrual cycle is not the problem. The poverty and the stigma, those are the problems. And so there's been great strides in the US with period poverty. So currently 23 states and Washington, D.C. have banned taxes on menstrual items, and 12 states are considering legislation for so-called period tax exemptions this year. 108 bills related to menstrual health have been filed, with many related to making period products more accessible or equitable. And CVS Health started paying the tax on period products purchased in-store and online in 12 states, and have cut prices nationwide on store brand period products. But even with these strides, tampon prices in the first half of 2022 rose by nearly 10% and pads by more than 8%. Tampon taxes disproportionately penalizes 50% of our country that needs period products, and 1 in 4 people in the US who menstruate still can't afford period products. So while eliminating the tax on sanitary supplies and the fact that it's now illegal in California for a business to discriminate against a person's gender with respect to the price charged for services of similar or like kind, the poverty and the stigma still remain. And Amir Abdul-Rahman, the national campaign manager for Period, a global nonprofit, said it best. The tampon tax is very much a middle-class issue where access to menstrual products is essential for everyone. You need to be able to afford menstrual products to have to worry about the tampon tax. So it all goes back to poverty and stigma. The different levels of poverty prohibit individuals from purchasing sanitary supplies, and stigma keeps people from talking about it enough to make the necessary changes for resolution. And let's face it, period poverty is a woman's issue in a man's world. And I wonder if this was a woman's world, would period poverty even exist? I was speaking with a woman and she said in her country, men see having access to sanitary supplies as a privilege for women. So what do we do? And what have we done? And how do we help to eradicate period poverty? So looking back at the mission of the Red Dot Project we strive to eradicate period poverty by uniting women globally, redefining that menstruation stigma, providing resources, promoting wellness, and empowering communities through sustainability projects and workshops. And so uniting women globally. Period poverty is a women's issue, and it's going to take women working collectively to resolve the issue, moving together with a common cause. All organizations don't do the same thing. However, collaboration is how we address all of the issues associated with period poverty. Being able to connect gives us an opportunity to learn more about one another, contact each other, and share ideas, events, resources, and more. And so how do we redefine menstruation stigma? Remember, because stigma associates menstruation with uncleanliness and disgust, which keeps people from talking about it, further perpetuating the crisis. And how do we redefine it? We have to talk about it more and educating menstruation and period poverty, incorporate conversations in our events. And if we have an opportunity, have discussions with the boys and the girls together in the schools. There's not enough talk about it. And then there's still the shame that's associated with it. Not just talking to them, but allowing them to ask the questions and to participate in the nonprofit activities that we do. They always say children are the future, and I believe they will be the ones who will have the biggest impact on changing the stigma around menstruation. And if your organization doesn't do that work, sign up with or connect with an organization that does. We go into the schools and have those type of conversations, but we also utilize the students for our packing parties and having those conversations with the parents that come out to support, as well as the students that they bring. And so more supplies and resources need to be distributed. And so we host what we call packing parties, where volunteers come out to help us pack our bags, and we make it a really fun event. We also have giving circles where donors can set up to automatically donate as little as $5 to help our cause. And we're constantly looking for organizations who need supplies so that we can offer our services. Those packing parties, in 2 hours, we typically can pack 2,000 bags. and then the receiving organizations come out and pick those supplies up. So it could be a homeless shelter, shower programs, battered women's shelter, any shelters where women or young girls reside. We also are working towards helping empower communities through sustainability projects and workshops. We can't end period poverty without addressing poverty. Poverty will look different in every community in which we serve, but financial education and opportunities will be key to eradicating period poverty. Because I'm a financial strategist, one thing that I do is financial literacy workshops, which include budgeting. And any person who is part of the Red Dot Financial Workshop series will receive supplies while they are improving their finances. The goal is to graduate them to have a better financial relationship and no longer need free sanitary supplies. Sustainability projects will help to bring projects and opportunities for communities to earn more income, to reduce the poverty levels in those communities. So whichever community I think that you serve, there's always a way to improve the financial condition to help end the poverty. And so in closing, there have been positive changes around period poverty, but I'm still ashamed that with all of the riches we have in this world, we're still fighting for basic human rights. So there's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I created the Red Dot Project and that global forum so we can go far together. It's going to take all of us to change the narrative and eradicate period poverty. And it's going to take all of us to fight poverty. It's going to take all of us to redefine the stigma and change the hashtag from period poverty to period proud. And I believe we have what it takes to make it happen if we work together. And I'll keep working to do my part at ending period poverty, one red dot bag at a time. And I pray that you will join me so that we can work together because we are better together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Oh my goodness, my heart is singing. This morning is just, it's just amazing. There is so much, Crystal, that you've mentioned that we could do here in the States. I'm really encouraged because participating in a packing party gives me an opportunity to participate in the solution. So thank you so much. Thank you. Crystal and Swati, amazing. Next, I would like to invite to the platform Sanjna Nair. Sanjna is such a dynamic woman, and Sanjna is a member of the India Advisory Council for G100 platform. She's the G100 India Advisory Council member. She's the newest member. And I would like to welcome you, Sanjna, to the platform to tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you, Anu, for this opportunity. And I love this topic, menstruation. And what powerful ladies on board today we have. So I am Sanjna Nair, and I'm an author. I am into energy healing. I do tarot and the rune counseling. I'm a graphologist and also an art therapist. But more than that, what I enjoy is my love, my passion for serving my community. And I just feel that, that's the reason why I started this, drive, which is called the Saffronia Drive, because my little dream, which is the Saffronia, the Journey Within, it's a holistic well-being center. I wanted to do something for women, my fellow women. So I was doing my research on menstruation. How do women tackle menstruation who do not have access to any of the products? And the women on the streets, the women from the remotest villages in India, how do they manage the periods? And that's when I started interacting with such women, and that experience was eye-opener. It was shocking, and it scared me to the core. Let me just explain to you how did my journey began. So to me, the menstruation, as all of us would agree, is just a natural body function. And, I just call it like a sign of life. But unfortunately, people treat it a dirty thing, right? So my introduction to menstruation was when I was in 4th grade. Not that I started my periods when I was in 4th grade, but there was this a workshop from one of the very renowned sanitary napkin company, and at our school, and they had distributed this beautiful pictorial explanation booklet to all the girls. Now, this workshop was only meant for girls, not for the boys, because even then, that was complete taboo. Periods, I have never heard it before that. I went back home because it was, I was feeling ashamed. So was my friend. We didn't discuss about, the pictorial explanations, what was given on the booklet. We went back home, asked mothers, they explained it to us, did not make sense much. Though, we understood, okay, reproduction and all of those, but it didn't make sense because unless you experience it yourself, you don't know what it is exactly. My second experience or introduction to menstruation was when I was in 6th standard. One of the classes, my class teacher was asking all the children questions, and this little girl sitting at the last, she was asked to answer. She was reluctant to stand up. I did not understand. I, being the monitor, I was asked to check. So I went up to her. I was trying to encourage her to just answer the question. She started to cry. So the class teacher walks up to us, asks her something, whispering. I did not follow. And she just asked that girl to leave the class that minute. It again did not make any sense to me. And I was asked to accompany her to the staff room after the class, which I did. I kept asking her the reason. Why was she reluctant to even stand up? It was disrespectful towards the teacher, but she started to cry and she wouldn't answer any further. We reached the staff room. The class teacher started to scold her. She was shouting at top of the voice. It again did not make any sense because she didn't, it was not her mistake. So why was she getting scolded? The reason was she had stained her uniform and she had tied her sweater. It was winter season. It was in Delhi. How severe the winters are there. This girl in the 6th standard, she removed the sweater, she tied around the hip, covering the stain. Why was this scolding? Because she, messed up the sanctity of the classroom. She was impure. Can you believe it? And I was shocked. I did not understand what was happening. She was asked to leave the school that minute, which she did. I went back went back home crying. I felt very bad. I was angry at the teacher. And I asked Mama, what and why? What happened? But the unfortunate truth was, this is how the people, take menstruation in India. During then, we couldn't even talk about periods. Today, I'm happy talking on this platform about menstruation openly and boldly. But then it was scary. I tell you a small story.
If you don't mind, sorry, Sanjana, if you don't mind,
yes.
I actually am waiting to hear your yogic remedies.
Yes.
You told me the other day that you have some special yogic remedies. If you
in fact, I was just starting to enter into that yogic mudras.
Okay, good.
So,
because
yes,
we
I
are
was just
running out of time. So please.
Absolutely. I'll just start with the yogic mudras.
Please show us your magical yogic remedies.
Just a little sneak peek before I start the yogic mudra.
Go ahead.
How I learned about that was I was researching about these girls and women on the street. How do they handle? And it was very scary and saddening to know that 10-year-old girl, they do not have even a piece of cloth, right? They're on the street. They do not have dress. They don't have shelter. They don't have water to clean and no privacy. So it was scary to know that, they use the mud and the ashes to, just cleanse themselves because there is no water on the street, and they just have a very small piece of cloth which they make into folded multiple folds, and then they use it as a napkin. Because of the wetness, they have all the infections, so they lose on the childhood, and they have immense emotional trauma. And that's when I decided to reach out to these girls, young girls and women, teaching them the quick yogic mudras. Okay, so just also giving them the menstrual cup, for the women, but the young girls had to still fight, because a sanitary napkin, even if I provided, it was just for a temporary phase. The quick mudras would help them to calm their body and mind. And to start will be, the first mudra is the yoni mudra, that is called, this is the yoni mudra. When you join the thumb and the index finger, you make a leaf kind of a structure upside down, and you place it around your navel. And, with the palms, just keep pressing on the belly around 10 to 15 minutes. That's the yoni mudra. And this helps the instant cramps, right? And the second mudra would be the jnana mudra. It helps with the irregular periods. What's the jnana mudra? It's the tip of the index and the thumb. You join together with rest of the 3 fingers joined together again. This is jnana mudra. Keep it upside down on your thighs, and then sit for 5 minutes, closing your eyes, deep breathing, and it gives, of course, you have to repeat it, on a regular basis. That helps regularizing your periods. Then we have Ashwini Mudra. That's my favorite. Just place your palms on your knees. When you're sitting, just both the palms on your knees. Press gently, keep pressing gently on the knees. That's Ashwini Mudra. And what does it do? It just soothes the stomach. Any stomach issues, it just soothes, gives you relief, instant relief, and also realign your energies. And the fourth mudra would be the Apana Mudra. Apana Mudra, it again regulates the periods for you, and helps in any sensitive skin like mine. If you get the pimples during your menstruation, it just gives again a relief. So how do you do the Apana Mudra? Is joining the ring and the middle finger with the thumb, with rest of the 2 fingers upright, and just I keep exercising around the hand. It just gives me instant relief with all the back muscles, the lower back muscles. So I keep moving with this mudra. That's called the Apana Mudra. It's an instant relief. The last one is the Shakti Mudra. Now, this one, with the thumb pressing onto your palm, with the 2 fingers covering the thumb, and join the rest of the 2 fingers, and make sure the knuckles of the first 2 fingers are joined like that. And this, you keep it on your chest, close your eyes for 5 minutes, deep breathing. This is called the Shakti Mudra. And what does it do? It helps you give good, happy sleep, which all the women, I think we lack in the present time, especially. So this does wonders with the good night's sleep. So I will encourage all the ladies, and pass it on to the younger girls, all these mudra, the quick remedies. Along with that, you can always have the home remedies, that is the ginger tea and the fennel seed tea, that really helps calm your energies. So that's a quick remedy from my end.
That's
Thank you
wonderful. Thank you so much. I think this is very helpful to everyone around the world. We don't need to pronounce the name of the mudras, but we know we can follow on how you do it. I think you should do a small video.
I know, just the gestures, yeah.
Of that, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much, Sanjana. I'm sorry, I'm the timekeeper here, so I'm sorry if I have to, get moving along.
Absolutely.
But please, should I continue, Tanya? Okay, so we have, thank you so much, Sanjana. Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Crystal. This has been an education for me and an enlightenment. for all, I am sure, and more than anything, it talks about our topic, and that is safety, security, and solutions. And this is what we are all looking for, right? And, I mean, every single woman who has been there and who has already, either, gone to the other side of already finished it, but then so many young women who are starting out. And so what we want to do now, we have others in the panel here and who are waiting to provide their insights. And so we have a few questions we had already put out there, and we want to make this more conversational. So I'll just put the gallery here. So what do you think? Can everybody else show up? Prachi, and we have Tia and Prachi also. So we would love to hear from you. Basically, we had these 4 questions for you already, but again, maybe you want to say something based on what you've already heard. Tia, you want to start? Please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be here. And I was going to be talking about the menstrual health in the prison for women has been the difficulty. I am from Detroit, Michigan, in U.S., and I am helping with a lot of organizations that have come together here for women in prison and the menstrual health in prison. So we've come together to get products into the prison because the prisons provide some education, but really it's inadequate, but not enough health care, not enough supplies, and they actually charge them in prison for those supplies. So, and that's here in the U.S. But I know we're supposed to be talking about our questions.
So basically, you can just pick one of the questions, Tia. You don't have to, and if you want to make up your own question. So we want to hear insights. We want to hear solutions. We want to hear, something that people can take away from our conversation more than anything, not just answering.
I think more than anything, I've gotten so much information already. I think that what we need to take away today is the dignity and privacy of menstrual health. And Crystal had talked about it. Everyone has touched on it, and that is the stigma that's associated with menstrual health. And because men don't have that, as they don't have the capability to bring life. And I think that women have been disempowered through the years, yet we are the ones who bring forth life. And without this happening to our bodies, we wouldn't be able to do anything. So I think the most important thing is to realize that we should honor what we have. We should honor how we are created. We should take our place in society and teach our young girls to honor and respect yourself and be excited. I had to teach my daughter how to be happy about who you are, about what the purpose of it is. When you know the purpose of a thing, then you will honor it. You will cherish it. You will love the process, even though it hurts sometimes, even though it doesn't feel good. But to think that we are the life givers. And every month we demonstrate life. Thank you.
Thank you. That's beautifully said. So true. We have to honor each other. We have to honor ourselves. It's time to start, right? Well, we have Prachi next. Thank you for coming in. We would like to hear your insights. Please, again, same thing. You don't have to answer the question. You just, whatever you have in your mind, we want others to take away as much gold from what we are offering here. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and namaskara from India and Bengaluru. I hope all my sisters are doing well. And Sister Ranu, you need to confirm, am I audible? Because I didn't even get the time to switch on my laptop. Thank you. Thank you so much. The topic is very, very sensitive, and especially down in our country, we don't talk about it openly. It's still a taboo. How much ever we are trying to be vocal about it, still a taboo. So here I am, Dr. Prachi Biriwal, educator and kind of a social activist, try to do something or another to create awareness about the women and, a lot of stigma connected to women. So here, what I would like to talk here is I think, we have been talking about it, right? Years together, we have been talking about it, that it is a stigma, but still a stigma. We have been talking about it, there's a lot of challenge we face in our country about menstrual hygiene. We are still facing it. So I think, instead of, there is so much of talk, there are so many sisters like, Sanjana or the other sister of mine, I was listening to them, but there's still a lot of gap which exist. We still have a lot of, female dying in the country because of, bad menstrual well-being, or, they don't know how to take care of themselves during that period when they bleed. So my requisition through G100, platform would be to the government that, if we can, see, we have all the, like ma'am was talking, one sister was talking about the Sakhi sanitary napkins. So similar way, there are the sanitary napkins should be sold on a very subsidized rate, right? When we talk about, the menstrual hygiene, anything which is pertaining to menstrual hygiene, whether these are cups or, any other medium which our sisters uses, right? During those days, I think, they should be made available at a very nominal prices, right? So if they are, some kind of subsidies given to the company who are producing it by the government, so the problem related to women dying because of certain issues, or they cannot afford it, should be, I think we will be able to reduce the gap. And the second thing, what I would love to talk about it, the moment girl is born to a women, how much ever, we are educated, we are so advanced and modern, but somewhere, we still lack to give proper education and proper hygiene, gyan to our own daughters. So not only daughters, but also to sons, right? So they should, each and every boy should be looking up to a menstruating, a bleeding girl with a lot of respect. They have to be made sensitive about it. What I personally feel like, sensitivity is losing in this topic. So they should be made too sensitive about it. And I think each and every, mother should be given some kind of counseling and some kind of, what would I say, like some kind of, awareness session on how to teach their daughter on certain aspect. Because, if I talk about myself, I was never taught. So if I would have had a daughter, I wouldn't have known how to teach my daughter about it, right? So I think, there has to be some kind of campaign which has to be, run by the government, or which can be run by certain NGOs or certain government bodies, where, we are creating a lot of awareness about how to teach our daughters how to remain happy and hygienic during those bleeding days. That's my say on this. Thank you so much, Anu sister, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's so true. Half of our world population is the woman, right? So why don't we just do it ourselves? Start doing it, What are we waiting for, right? So, and this, I mean, I'm hearing that word stigma so much, and we are all using that word. Why don't we flip that word around and make it something stronger, where we if we're going to be eradicating the poverty of what was that, Crystal? Poverty in period poverty. You know what? It's time to eradicate words like stigma associated with with periods, so because, and it's up to us, no, to do the, and we've got such incredible women who are pioneering in this already, just in this small group we have here. So just want to again, I've been, as you can see, I've been pushing with the time, and I want everybody's voices heard here, and we've been here about an hour now. So I do want to just quickly tell my story very fast, and then we will see what we want to do, if we want to spend a few more minutes, just tackling questions or whatever. So why was this so important to me to bring this topic us, and to nag each one of you to come forward and tell your story? Because I spent more than, can't even remember now, 12 years of my life struggling with it. I had severe endometriosis and a lot of pretty much everything that came with it. And I used to keep saying, as a joke, just to appease myself, I used to say, I have only three weeks in a month, because the fourth week I would just donate to the gods of pain, to the gods of pain. And so I did that for about 12 years and lost my career because of it, and had to pick something lighter, and but of course I do thank it now, because thanks to that, my second life that has started, and my second career, because I almost at one time I was it was a touch and go for me, but I thank my second life because it taught me what I'm about, what my body is about, and what I should do to take care of it. And that was the most important thing that happened in my life. And I've been very lucky. I had full family support, but not many are. And a lot of people die of this in the hospitals. And when I was in the emergency, taken. I first time in my life, I even there was lots of first times in my life, where I was in an ambulance, and then the guy, he was not even surprised, that the kid, boy, I'm telling him, hey, this is the situation, and he's just, wow, you're stronger than others, because usually the women are just out of it, and they lose so much blood, and they become so anemic, they need to, they die, so yes, so we've all been through that. And why am I getting into that? Because that is reality, and the fact that even with that, how strong we are. So maybe we should turn that word stigma into something that's much more what we are really about. And so I have some words to describe this, okay? Stigma, okay? S for superpower, S for strength, okay? T for togetherness. How about Swati and Crystal, what you're doing with bringing people together, right? And togetherness. Individuality, how about respecting our own individuality, okay, each one of us. G for growth, okay, how about we all grow together? And I've got M, so I just said made made accessible, okay. M and A is made accessible. All of these factors made accessible by all of us, okay? Superpower, all right? And strength and togetherness and growth made accessible. So let's all worship that, and let's all go forward with that. Tanya, please take over.
Anu, thank you so much. How beautiful. I was sitting here as you were speaking. I was thinking, she's the word artist. I'm trying to see what kind of word art is Anu going to come up with for us with the stigma. But that was very good. I love that acronym. And that, yeah, don't be surprised if we get a graphic soon from Anu. That takes
Thank
care of
you.
that.
Absolutely.
You women are such powerhouses and such an encouragement. This has been a powerful session. Powerful. And it's amazing. Thank you, Anu, for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation to have the U.S. partner with our sisters from India on this topic. As Crystal mentioned, she gave great statistics. It is worldwide. Over half the population menstruates.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to be silent on this topic. So I'm very thankful that all of you joined, all of you gave your input and poured from your heart and from your passion and your love for your sisters and what it is that we need. I see a collective. I think I heard something from Swati, and I'm sure that Crystal is open too. I can hear, and my goodness, Tia, I hear the collaboration right here. And I knew you were absolutely correct. It's going to take women. We will be the ones to have to come together and galvanize and actually get this done. We are blessed to be on a global platform, impacting women and industries and policies all over the world, thanks to our wonderful founder of all G100, Dr. Harbeen Arora Rai. And she has been on her journey to impact and have meetings, the 100 meetings that she's having with policymakers all over the world. I'm sure, ladies, we have a voice at the table. We have a seat at the table. We can get this done. And I thank you all, and I encourage you all to do that. Continue to love and talk to your sisters and your daughters. And I look forward to this again. We will reach out to one another and encourage one another behind the scenes or whatever it is you have going on, because we need to get this done, and I'm sure we'll do it. Thank you so much, beautiful India Country Chair Anu Nadimpalli.
Thank you.
Thank
God,
you.
thank you for
Thank you,
making my
Crystal,
dream come true.
Swati, Tia, Sanjna, and Dr. Prachi. Thank you so much. And our wonderful daughter of Sudha, Pooja.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Pooja.
Thank you so much handling our tech. And I bid you all good day. Thank you for spending your evening, afternoon, and morning with us on this topic. Have a wonderfully blessed day.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Everyone. Thank
Have
you.
a
Someone take a
beautiful-
picture.
Yes, I did already.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, let's all smile. Let's all smile.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
I think
Anu.
Thank you.
we need to get out of
Bye.
Facebook Live also, but that's fine. You know what? Everybody's going to see us exit in a beautiful way. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.